All right, guys. So what we've got going on right now is we've got a little bit of an explanation is needed on some of these terms. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to make some notes for myself here on what these things might actually mean. No man is an island entire of itself. Well, what we got going on here is a phrase that is worded a little bit differently, but if we look at the whole picture, no man is an island entire of itself. I think we might actually know what that means, so I'm going to leave it to you guys to figure that out for yourself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Okay. If a clod is a word that I think we need to look up. Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as a manner of thy friends. You can look up manner as well. Thy, can I just explain this for a sec? Thy, thine, and thee. These are second person pronouns. These are the words in Shakespeare that scare us. So let me just explain this to you guys in this way. We have first person pronouns, my, mine, and me. Okay? Watch this. Second person pronouns. And in English today, we use the word you. Right? There's me and there's you. I'm first person, you're second person. Okay? There is your, right? So that's mine, and that is yours. Those are my socks. Those are your socks. So in English today, we use your, and you. But in John Donne's time, which was 1624, they were using this thing called early modern English. And they were still using these words that, like thee and thy and thine, that we don't normally use. So watch this. So we use your today. But back then, they used the word thy. Instead of your, they use the word thine. So we're working with rhyming words. Okay? Mine, thy, mine, thine, mine, thine, me, say it all together now, thee. Okay? So we could easily change, as well as a manner of your friends or of your own were. Okay, you see how that just flips out? Suddenly it makes sense. It tolls for you. Okay, so that's taken care of. All right. One other thing that I want to just talk about really, really quickly, because I think that you can look up the rest, or if you can't look up the rest, like with this one or with this one, you can kind of look at the whole piece and figure it out for yourself. And therefore, never send to know for whom the bell tolls. Well, let me just talk about tolling for a sec. When you look at the word toll, what do you think of? What do you think of? I'll tell you what I think of. I think of funeral tones. I think of a bell either chimes or it tolls, and that connotation of language is very, very interesting. A bell chiming is happy. A bell tolling is somehow completely different. And I think of funeral. When I think of a bell tolling, I think of funeral. And therefore, never send to know for whom the bell tolls. That's a weird phrase that we don't use anymore. And that's a phrase that means wonder or think or ponder. There's a really longer explanation for that, but that gets into the etymology of the word, where the word comes from. But I don't want to get into that right now because I don't have time. But that's what that means, to wonder or to think or to ponder. Okay. That's all I've got for you right now with the vocabulary. Here's what I want you to figure out next. I want you to look at this whole thing, and I want you to write down any questions that you have about this poem itself. I want you to, anything that you're wondering, like I did up here. How does this apply to poetry? Meditation. Um, if you're looking at this and you go, I don't know what he's talking about with this island metaphor. He's using a lot of geography in this poem. Maybe you have some questions for John Donne. Maybe you have some questions about the message of the poem. That's what I want you to write down next, okay? And then lastly, what I want you to do is I want you to find the main idea of this poem. Main idea is in an essay, often found up at the top or near to the end. Where is it in this poem? That's what I want you to find, okay? So you do that work, and I'll catch you on the next page.